Welcome to my mom's channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Yay, yay, yay.
Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you what my son's homeschool schedule looks like today. Today's 25th of February 2018. And some of the items that he has to complete today is typing. So there is this software that we purchased. I think it's called Typing for Learning, or I think it's called Typing for Learning, but it's a software that we purchased and it is very interactive. He actually loves this game because it's like a video type style lesson for every single level. So if I let him, he'll do this activity for like an hour, but we limit it to 30 minutes. So he's going to type for 30 minutes and they show him the home rows. He has to play certain games within the software to move up to different levels depending on his speed and his accuracy. So it's really, really cool. Along with that, he has to do 20 minutes of math fractions. Our focus today is fractions, and that's because in school, in his regular school, he is enrolled in public school full time. In his regular school, their focus is fractions. So we're going to do some fraction worksheets, and just to make sure those skill sets are mastered. Next on our list is reading comprehension, where what we're going to do is we're going to go over some reading comprehension assignments that he had throughout the week. So we're basically going to go over those line by line, correct them if there are any corrections that are required. In addition to that, we're also going to do a page of reading comprehension out of the Texas Star fourth grade reading comprehension book that I purchased from Half Price Books, either Half Price Books or Half Off Books. I forget the name. Next is Creole. Haitian Creole is my foreign language. My parents are Haitian, so I grew up with that language, and I just want to make sure that my children don't lose that language as they grow up. So I do want to keep that within my family, so hopefully they can learn it, master it, and teach their children. So he has about 15 minutes of Haitian Creole where we formally learn certain topics. So right now he's doing his colors, days of the week, months of the year, counting from 0 to 150, and also body parts and basic greetings. So that's what we've been doing for the past few months, and we just ensure that he goes over it a few times a week just to master those. Next is fast facts math, and that's just 5 minutes. So basically he has to do his math facts for 1 minute each. So subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, and also equivalent fractions. So I give him a sheet of maybe 100, and he has 1 minute to do each sheet, and then we kind of figure out how long it took him to do it, which is 1 minute obviously, and we also focus on how many did he get correct, and then I document that, and then we create what our average looks like for the week, and then our goal is to always beat the prior week's weekly average. Again, fast facts are done on a daily basis. The next thing we have is he has to read his school science topic, which is weather. So right now for science in his regular school, their focus is on weather, and they have a lot of online resources that they provide the students. So his job is to spend 30 minutes, and he normally does this a few times a week, maybe 4 times a week, where he has to spend 30 minutes and go online and review what the week's topic is. Again, it is weather. So that is what his schedule looks like for today. And let me just show you some of the resources that we're using. So for the reading comprehension, this is, again, the Texas test prep. Our test is called the STAR. Public school students are required to take this test every year, depending on your grade level. they have different topics in which they are testing for. For fourth grade in the state of Texas, they do reading, writing, math, and I think they do one more thing, but I forgot. Okay, so for reading, what we're going to do is we're going to go in this book here, and he did this page, so we are going to correct this page, and then he's going to have to go ahead and do this story and answer these questions, which are all a part of what he's read. Okay. This book here, I got this book online. I have a lot of resources that I've purchased online, and I just print them out. Okay. So as you can see, this is for grade 5. So this is a way that we get reading comprehension in at another level. Again, he's in 4th grade currently. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through. What he does is I assign the work. He does the work. I grade the work. And then if he has anything wrong, like he has here as an example, I mark it wrong, tell him which ones were wrong, and then he has to go back within a few days and redo it. Once he redoes it, I have to go back and recheck it. Okay, so let me show you an example. So as of here, you'll notice he had it wrong. I marked what he had wrong. He went back and redid it. He had it right. He didn't. And then, of course, I changed the total wrong answers. Therefore, we don't have to review it. Now, with these here, I did not check these yet. So although you see -1 as an example, I have not gone back and checked this to determine if he still had this answer wrong. So he does get one opportunity to go back and make corrections, and then I'll check it. If he still gets it wrong, that's when we go over it together. So hopefully that makes sense. For math, so this is his math book that he's currently using at school. What I do is for his math and his language arts book, I always go on Amazon or eBay or half off or half price books to get a copy of the book. His other subjects, they normally have those books online for the students, but for math and language arts, they do not. So again, I go and purchase these secondhand so that he has a copy at home. That way we are reinforcing what he's learning at school, and I understand the topics that he is on at school. So as an example right now, they're on fractions. So if the teacher assigns this work for him at school, in his book at school, he'll pull out the pages, he'll bring it home, and that's what his homework is considered, right? But at home, a few days later, before they take the test, the same pages that the teachers assigned for him to do, he has to do it a few days later, the same assignments, just to reinforce what he's already learned, okay? And then I may assign him a few word problems. They always have word problems in the book, but normally they do not assign those at school. So that's what we normally work on. So at school, they assign him, basic problems, right? Basic problems. And at home, we will do these problems, but I will also assign him word problems. I think it's really, really important for students to get a grasp on word problems. So that's what we're doing for math during homeschool today in terms of something that's considered a worksheet. So to tie in what he's learning at school, which is fractions, what I've done is we're going to play a few fraction games. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him this deck of cards, and on these decks of cards, he is going to have to tell me the equivalent fraction for each one. So I'll pull this card out. I'll say, give me some equivalent fractions. And then he has to explain to me his thought process on getting that answer. So he'll say something like, okay, 2/12. 2 is the numerator, 12 is the denominator. 2/12. Equivalent fraction. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 12 6 times. 1/6. Very good. He'll do the same thing. 9/12. 9 is the numerator, 12 is the denominator, 9/12. What can go into 9? What can go into 12? 3. So 9 goes into 3. I'm sorry, 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 12 4 times, 3/4. And that's what we'll do for this deck of cards. And then what I'll do is I'll shuffle these cards, right? I'll shuffle these cards. Let's say I shuffle it and this one comes out. Now what he has to do is he has to go to this stack of cards and he has to pull out all of the equivalent fractions that could be created for this one. Okay, as an example, the number 8 can go into here, but it can't go into here, right? The number 2 can go into here, and the number 2 can go into here. So 2 can go into this 4 times, 2 can go into this 6 times. So this equivalent fraction, the first one we created, was what? 4/6. So he'll go and find 4/6 in here. So 4/6 will be next to it. Now he has to keep going further. We have to keep breaking it down until it can't go any further. So 4/6 can be broken down into another equivalent fraction. What is that one? So 4/6 can be broken down into what equivalent fraction? What can go into both numbers? 2. 2 goes into here 2 times. 2 goes into here. How many times? 3 times. So the next equivalent fraction is going to be 2/3 and so forth. So that's how we're going to do that game. The next game we're going to do is based on what equivalent fraction we had, we're going to make that equivalent fraction here. So this is a way for us to do something that's hands-on. So what he does is he gets these tubes here, okay, and then let's say, we just did this one, 8/12, 8/12, 4/6, and 2/3. So he's going to get 3 of these, 1, 2, and imagine the 2/3 card was right here. So what he's going to do is he's going to have to build these fractions. He's going to have to build 8/12 by using these manipulatives. And he's going to put them in here. And he's going to have to build 4/6, put them in here. He's going to have to build 2/3, and he's going to put them in here. And he's going to just visually look at what these cards look like. Now, that is it for our items that I wanted to show you that we're going to use for our homeschooling today for my 9-year-old who is currently in the 4th grade. In terms of the Creole, for Creole, what I do is, let me turn the camera. So for his Creole lesson, what I normally do is I use this thing called Evernote. And oh my goodness, I really, really love Evernote. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to record my voice in saying his numbers, his days of the week, the months of the year. I'm able to record myself saying those things, and all he has to do is to go on to Evernote and listen to those recordings. He also is required to write them down. So he does have a foreign language notebook in which he writes down the English word in one column and the Creole word in the next column. So that's how we do our Creole. He writes it in English, writes it in Creole, and then he has to listen to it via Evernote, and then he has to listen to it again, but in a slower capacity where he has to repeat it. So that way he gets to do the same thing in 3 different ways. So based on how he learns, he's able to receive that information and recall it from memory. So again, for Creole, we use Evernote for the purpose of having him hear it and then having him hear it again, repeat it, and then we have a notebook in which he writes the English term in one column, and then the Haitian Creole term in the next column right next to it. Yeah, and that's it. So that's what we're doing for today on a Sunday for his homeschooling. It takes about 2 hours. If you remember in my other videos, homeschooling on the weekend can take 1.5 to 2 hours for us to hit all the topics. All the topics are not going to be the same every single weekend. After school during the week, Monday through Friday, homeschool normally focuses on math and reading comprehension. Math, reading comprehension, maybe vocabulary if they give them vocabulary words at school. On the weekends, we normally hit math, reading comprehension, but we're probably doing a new topic, reinforcing the topic that we learned throughout the week, or checking work. But the main focus is Creole, typing. We do Afro-Black studies, where he learns information about the African-American culture, our history, and things of that nature. We also focus on finance and budget, life skills. We go into government this year. This summer, we're going to start U.S. government, where he is going to have to learn all 50 states, including their capitals, and all of the 50 presidents, and 2 important facts about each one. And he's also going to learn about how many regions that we have in the country and so forth. And the reason why I'm focusing on that this summer for government is because in the 5th grade here in Texas, those are the things that he's going to have to master during his 5th grade year. So I kind of want to get him over the hump of having to learn those during the school year, and have him already be prepared for those types of lessons. So that's our day today. I hope that you learned at least one thing new. Hopefully you found this information useful. Hopefully you found something that you can implement within your homeschool. And as always, until we meet again in another video, you make it a great day. This is the typing software that I was talking about. It's called Type for Learning.
Period. I typed the whole line. Hated this important message. A group of cats is called a clouder or a glare. Oh no! The air vents are disconnected.
So what you're going to do, flip the card over. You already can see the fraction already on the back side, but flip it over and give me an equivalent fraction.
6/8.
So how did you get 6/8?
Times 2.
So you multiplied this by 2 to give you 6, that by
Yes.
2 to give you 8. So 6/8 can give you an equivalent fraction of 3/4.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
3/2.
When you turn it over, put it back so I can see it.
1/4.
So say the equivalent fraction of 3/12 is 1/4. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, next one.
One third.
So 3/9, the equivalent fraction is 1/3. Okay, I need you to say the fraction so I can make sure you're saying it properly.
2/5. 4/10.
So 4/10 is an equivalent fraction of 2/5. Is this the numerator or denominator?
Numerator.
And this one is?
A denominator.
Okay, very good.
1/8. 2/16.
What's that? So 1/8, 2/16 is an equivalent fraction. Give me another one.
Okay. 4/32.
So 4/32 is equivalent to 1/8. Very good. So now what I want you to do, I'm going to give you 3 cards, and you're going to build me an equivalent fraction. So here's your 3 cards. Go ahead and build me an equivalent fraction. Which one you do first? Which one do you want to do first? Which card?
This one.
So 10/12. 10/12. So what's an equivalent fraction for that?
5/6.
It's 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6. So 5 6 is equivalent to 10 twelfths. Okay. 4 6. 4 6.
2/3.
2/3. Okay. Let's go ahead and build 2/3. One third, 2/3. Very good. How about this one? 8/12. 8
I'm
twelfths.
gonna do big facts.
Okay.
24/16.
24.
We don't have any
What?
24s.
24/16. You having the numerator is going to be greater.
I mean 16th to 24.
Okay. But I don't think our,
We don't have 24.
yeah, we don't have 24ths in our manipulatives. So let's go down.
4/3. There you go. B. Okay. 2/3.
So 8/12 is equivalent to 2/3. So how'd you figure that out?
4, 4. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
4 goes into each one?
Yeah.
Very good.
But we already put 2 in here, so you can't take it.
That's okay. You can take it out.
We don't. I can find something that's equivalent to 2/3.
Yes, you can.